Hey there, it's time for a Deep 7 episode. If you're tuning in tonight, expecting a Road Less Traveled episode, due to health issues, we had to cancel for tonight. We will be back at our regularly scheduled time next week, and I didn't want to waste the opportunity to do a Deep 7 study tonight. So I've been thinking about um, the role that we have as believers in serving God. And there's a line from a Pink Floyd song, believe it or not, that resonates with me greatly, and I think we can find theological truth in secular things. We can find theological truth in the most unlikely places sometimes. And the lyric that leads into tonight's study is from the song "Wish You Were Here," and it says, "Did you exchange a walk-on part in the war for a lead role in a cage?" And as I think about that lyric and I think about the meaning of it, and it talks about we want to be the star of our own story. We want to be the forefront. We want to be the person that the story's about. And sometimes God calls us to a lesser role. And if we're not willing to be part of a lesser role in somebody else's mission, somebody else's adventure, why should we think that God's going to use us in our own opportunities, in our own adventures? So, and it brings me to the story in Mark chapter 11, 1 through 6, where you see Jesus is about to ride into Jerusalem on a donkey. He's about to declare himself the Messiah to the nation of Israel. This is a big deal. This is a momentous occasion. This is something that had been prophesied about. This is the fulfillment of thousands of years of prophecy. And the people that are there to experience know exactly what this is all about. And yet, it's not just the people that are immediately in the story with names that are named participants that are important to this story. There's a couple of other people who really get almost no recognition whatsoever. We don't even know what their names are, but they play a very vital role. And I'm going to read Mark 11, 1 through 6. Now, when they drew near to Jerusalem, to Bethpage and Bethany at the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent two of his disciples and said to them, "Go into the village in front of you, and immediately as you enter it, you will find a colt tied on which no one has ever sat. Untie it and bring it." Here's the important part. "If anyone says to you, 'Why are you doing this?' say, 'The Lord has need of it, and will send it back here immediately.'" And they went away and found a colt tied at a door outside in the street, and they untied it. And some of those standing there said to them, "What are you doing? What are you doing untying that colt?" And they told them what Jesus had said, and they let them go. So clearly, Jesus is the main character of this scenario here. Jesus is about to ride into Jerusalem. Huge deal. Clearly, also, the apostles, the disciples who were on their way to um, go and secure this cult, important side characters. It's a very important role that they had. But look at these guys. They, some were standing there and said, "What are you doing untying that colt?" We have no idea who these people are, but here's the important part of this. Those people who had control of that colt, those people who were who owned those donkeys, clearly God had told them ahead of time that they had an important thing to do, that someone was going to come and untie these colts, and they were going to tell them the Lord has need of them. And when that happens, just let them go. Let them do that. It's an important thing. They had no idea. They had no idea why. They had no idea what was going on. All they knew was that they had a mission from God to respond by saying, "Take them away." And we're going to never know this side of heaven who these guys were. But look how important they were to a pivotal event in Bible prophecy. These guys were so important because They were obedient to God in anonymity. They weren't main characters here. They weren't side characters. They were uncredited extras in this drama that was unfolding. And yet, they had a very, very important part. So there are going to be times where God calls you to do something, that you're the main character of an adventure, that you are the head thing going on with it. But there's going to be times where God's using somebody in a mighty way, and you're a side character, you're a side piece, you're somebody that's there to do your part, do your role, and you're never going to get credit for it. You're never going to get recognized for it. No one's going to even know who you are or what your part was. But you know who does know? The Lord. The Lord knows that you are obedient. The Lord knows that you did what you were told to do, and you will be rewarded for that. And when we're faithful to God in the small things, it's when we're faithful to God in the little things that He gives us to do that prepares us for the great things. And yes, we all want to be the top or even the sidekick. We want to be the person that's involved in the big adventure, but we can't all be involved in every big adventure. So my prayer for you tonight is, if you're listening to this and maybe there's something that you were part of that you went unrecognized or you felt unappreciated, God's appreciative. God knows what you've done. God knows what you were involved in. Rest in the fact, in the knowledge that when we get used by God anonymously, and someone else has the opportunity to do something really amazing, we're part of that. We're part of that blessing in spiritual realms. Everything we do doesn't need to be recognized, everything we do doesn't need to be celebrated, but everything we do is seen by God. And that's the thing tonight. If that's where you find yourself, embrace it. Be like these guys. Do your part, be blessed in it, and know that God's got a greater thing going on than you can even imagine. In that little act of obedience, you have no idea how impactful that might be in a grander scale. So don't be discouraged. Don't look to always want to be the guy that's seen and credited and recognized. And just be thankful for the blessing. God bless you. I hope this was encouraging to somebody. Shoot me a comment, let me know, and we'll see you next time.